Hello and welcome to another Wednesday audio video with me, Harry Quinn. I wanted to turn these videos a little bit more personal and perhaps even get closer to the most important things that there are behind at least my own musical creation journey situation. The failures and the bad things that happen in and around life and music inform how things then, the fruit on the tree, so to speak. And I'm also just trying to get a little bit out of my comfort zone. My previous videos have generally been quite instructional or just music. I think if I had a choice, my choice would be, I do have a choice. I do have a choice. It would just be music, but I appreciate there needs to be a little bit more to it. Mainly, I think the way that I'm at least justifying it to myself, I suppose, is to help people. So if someone likes my songs, or and I've had this recently, somebody has approached me asking for help with songwriting. Is how do you actually articulate to someone to improve these things, or not necessarily improve these things, but just have a discussion and let the proverbial fruit start growing and flourishing for them. So a lot of and I can go. This is the third attempt I've tried to do this particular video, in all transparency, and the first attempt was very, very long, so I'm going to keep it much shorter. But I wanted to express the importance of failing or not knowing in the journey to knowing, because otherwise you just know from the start. There is always going to be a journey from not knowing to knowing, hopefully at the very least. So coming all the way back into what I'm talking about is I'm working on a new song, and I've had in the back of my mind a comment from a friend of mine who's made some observations about my mixing style, or that certain songs sound good here or there on different systems. And although I've had videos where I explain my process, and I think it's all quite valid, listening on different things and using analyzers and different headphones in the car, all of this, lacking, I have a very nice situation here, but it's not completely flat in frequency response, and I've gone into these things in different videos. But when the main thing that I'm trying to talk about here is as frustrating or ego whatevering that is, a friend of mine has said this to me, so either I just completely dismiss it, or I try and be completely honest with myself and say, well, what can I improve? Somebody is saying this to me. Have I ever had any appreciation of this problem, and how am I going to fix it? And I've had a recent mixing breakthrough, which is, and it's talked about a lot, mixing in mono. That's so what I use is a DMG track control plugin, and I set the width to 0 and I turn it on. That's a great plugin that can do various things, very sort of simple on the outset of things. So I'm trying to do all of the technical things, the balancing, the brightness, the EQ, the compression, the transients, and all of these technical things. And I'm almost there with doing all those things, but I'm trying to keep complete hold of the emotion, particularly this upcoming song that I'll be hopefully releasing in February, where I'm trying to be completely honest with the music and honest with my previous mixes and comments from people, and trying to continually improve. Because I've been doing this for quite a few years at this point. I've had this studio space for about 6 years at this point, about that, and I've been learning along the way, and I've had successes on various levels, but I think the one thing that I'm really, it's starting to get a longer video, but what I'm trying to say is the one thing is honesty. And it's not necessarily a moral thing, it's just a factual thing. And then everything can be built upon that. So the honesty of listening and then improving with the artistic, emotional motivation and intention. Long story short, mixing in mono, and not just necessarily saying mix in mono, but really thinking about what does that mean. So, and then get an appreciation of how things sound really. It's difficult to express these things where you're talking about like the truth, honesty, but how does it really sound, and where can you really honestly make improvements technically and emotionally in doing the thing that, at least in my case, spending hours and hours on every week, and releasing and hoping people get something out of it emotionally, really. It's nice to have someone say, "Oh, I thought your mix was absolutely fantastic," and when I've done that for friends and clients, people, that's the goal, but you also want to be getting, what is it really honestly about getting a piece of art or some sort of message out there in its full and effective way. So yeah, tricky terminology, but yeah, I hope this has been useful in some way to you. And drop a comment, and like and subscribe for what I'm trying to bring into these Wednesday audio videos. Every Wednesday I do one, and I'm trying to get a little bit more below the surface of things, rather than just the basic instructional type videos. So until next week, I've got some music coming out this Friday, a song called So Many Things. I've got a gig tomorrow, the 28th of January 2026, if you're watching this video. But always, my website has various gigs listed on there. And yeah, end of the video now. Thanks very much for watching and listening to this background music that's been happening all along, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.